Yes. Come on, bro. Get your shit together. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Kevin Lamar. To those of you that don't know, this is my new podcast, The Compound. A lot of y'all know me from the old podcast, but we don't do shit a little different. So today, I will begin interviews to give people that don't know me a chance to kind of like know a little bit about me. So y'all stay tuned, man. It's gonna be interesting. And I think that's fucking good. They need to know that.
The lip chap is a thing. Not chapstick, lip chap.
Lip chap. That's correct. Lip chap.
All right, so let's do a brief summary of the old podcast for the people that don't know about it, where they can find it, what it was called, kind of what it was about.
Okay. So you can find the old podcast on YouTube strictly. It was called It's Not Your Fault. And it was about basically how ways that we behave, things that we do, was not our fault. In every video that I did, the overall point of the video was to drive that point home, was to create more of an understanding of why I say it's not your fault.
So does that come from a basis of past traumas, past relationships, learned experience, nature versus nurture, combination of all of those things?
Honestly, it came from a spiritual awakening that I had.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a guy named Eckhart Tolle. He has a book called The Power Now. And towards the end of the book, he started talking about how people don't really have control over themselves. He wasn't saying it directly, but it was kind of vague, but I kind of just picked up on it. And I was like, is he about to say what I think he about to say? And like, by the end of the book, he kind of just came out and said it. Like, people don't have control over themselves the way that they think. Something called the ego is really what's in control, and he went through the process of breaking it down, and by the time he got done, it just made complete sense to me.
Okay. So why did you move away from that podcast into this one?
So when I was doing the podcast, I was getting a lot of requests for interviews. It's a lot of people wanted to talk about different things other than what I was actually talking about on the podcast. So I'm the type of person, like, I like to be flexible, and I guess like with that being something that kind of came to me, I felt like the podcast, the name of the podcast, the subject matter, I felt like all that shit boxed me in. So I wanted to revamp it way before I did it. I never talked about it with nobody, but yeah, I wanted to change it.
Okay, so with the new one, listeners, viewers can expect interviews of all different subject matter?
All different subject matters.
Okay.
It's called a compound. So to break down what it means, why I even chose the compound in the first place. For me, when I say compound, I'm talking about kind of like what you're doing when you start to mix shit together. Not like a compound or like a fucking apartment building or a prison yard or something. Like, I ain't talking about like that. I'm talking about where you actually getting together with different ingredients trying to make something. That's why I chose the compound.
Okay. So what is your goal with this podcast? Where would you like to see it go? Or how would you like to reach or connect with viewers and listeners?
I really just want to give people an opportunity to just show other people who they is. Show the world if they make it that far. I would say that's really the goal. I like seeing people express themselves. I know a lot of people that got certain type of personalities, and like people that just never know because they never get in front of nobody. They don't socialize like that. So yeah,
Okay.
I would like to provide, I guess you could say, a safe space for people to talk.
With that being said, what is one thing that you wish people viewing and listening, but also people in your everyday life that actually already know you in person? What is one thing you wish people knew about you that you feel like most people don't?
But there's one thing that I wish people knew about me.
Something maybe most people don't pick up on, or most people don't know about you, that you wish you didn't have to explain about yourself to people.
How smart I really am. I feel like people miss it a lot. So it's something I find myself thinking about a lot, especially when I'm in social situations. Like they just don't know. They just have no idea.
Is that something that you were hoping this podcast will kind of
No.
put on display?
Nope. Not at all. Because this podcast really wasn't about me. It was about other people. But that's what it's about. It's really about other people. But since I'm being interviewed, then yeah, that's something I wish people knew. I'll tell you a good reason why.
Okay.
Okay. A lot of people that I end up around don't use me.
Elaborate.
Meaning like I'm not rich, right? But I have a wealth of knowledge. I've been kind of put in a position where I know shit that could like, especially like mentally, help people like change their life. Different shit that they struggle with or they feel like they just can't get over. And like people just sit around me and here I am, this overflow of information. Nobody asks questions. Nobody asks me, why you move like that? Why you talk like that? Why you handle stuff the way that you they don't do it?
Do you feel like you were approachable?
Do I feel like I'm approachable?
Yeah.
Very.
Like all these people that are around you, do you feel like you give off that vibe
Like I'm approachable.
that they can come to you and ask you that type of question? Why do you move the way that you move?
I think so.
I have a very different perspective.
You
As somebody that's known you for a couple years now, you can be intimidating, but in a non-threatening way, if that makes sense. It can be intimidating to talk to you, especially questioning you about why you move the way you move or talk the way you talk.
How so? Like this?
I think because you are so quiet. And then again, that, just maybe my experience. Conversation with you can be very surface level. What I mean by that, it's laughing, talking, sharing TikTok videos, whatever. But it's a different experience, and it's not easy to break that barrier with you, to cross from surface level to deeper conversations.
So you can tell that it's more there than just...
Absolutely. But figuring out how to initiate that, because you don't tend to, from my experience and what I've seen, you don't tend to initiate conversation on a deeper level with people. You kind of wait on them to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I say, let's take it a little further. So when I say people don't use me, I'm more so speaking of the people that I allow to get close
Already
to
have
me.
access to you in that way.
People that have access to me. Like, I done been in whole relationships with people, and it's just certain shit that they never ask me. Now, for me, I be sitting there looking at them like, how? How do you sit around me and listen to me talk and hear what come out of my mouth, and you don't know question come up? You don't look at me as no type of resource of like, damn, man, this nigga could really...
So do you feel like that is partially to do with the people you choose to have around you? Is that almost a safe space for you because a part of you knows that they won't get as deep as you would allow them to?
Nope. I can tell you exactly what it is. It's a couple things. So, one, I love to be asked questions. Because the shit that I've learned, I wish somebody would have told me. I wish somebody would have told me. But it just didn't happen. Like, this shit, I talk about this all the time. Like, this is shit that I've literally had to do myself by reading, researching, that type of shit. So it's like the stuff that I end up learning, once I did get it, once I did start finding the truth in it, it's like I just wanted to share. And in the beginning, that's what I did. I would just get this shit to people that didn't even ask for it.
Right.
So along the way, I learned like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
So now you want people to ask. You don't want to give that knowledge away freely. You want them to want it.
It's situation specific.
Okay.
If I can tell that you are somebody that don't really care about deep shit like that, and I can see it on you. I can read it off you. And if I read it, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
So do you still allow the people that you can read that disinterest, do you still allow those people closer access to you, or do you also keep them guarded?
Before I answer that, let me answer the other part of the question. So with the people that I choose, I don't I guess you could say purposefully choose people that don't decide to like use me in that way. It just comes from a understanding that the type of person that would do that is a rare type of person. Even for me, like even with my skill set of just being able to like cipher through the type of people that's in front of me, even with that, I still rarely run across those type of people. So it's just like, I guess like a balance thing that kind of come into play is like, okay, what type of person is this? Are they a good person? Um, do they have good intentions? Do they have good character? Um, are they somebody that I can work with? And if those things line up, they don't have to necessarily have the "oh, ask me questions" type of thing. They don't have to have it. It's like I'll let it go.
Right.
But I just find it interesting how many people are like that.
So do you ever find yourself in situations where it's like a battle of intellect, where you meet somebody,
Absolutely.
one of the rare people who may ask questions but then also have their own ideas and visions and intellect that may differ from yours, or so you end up sort of in a battle of opinions or intellect, or does that turn into good deep debates and conversation?
In my experience, it just turned into good conversations because like I said, like I'm good at picking up on people, so I'm not really gonna deal with nobody that uh like it's gonna turn into that with like a back and forth between me and them.
Right.
As far as a battle of intellect, like I'm not really gonna deal with nobody like that.
Okay.
So if I meet somebody like that, they're gonna have a certain level of understanding to where like if we don't agree or if we don't see eye to eye, it's kind of like a neutral ground. You know, it doesn't become a thing where it's like we just constantly bumping heads and shit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to shift gears a little bit. So you mentioned a spiritual awakening earlier.
Yeah.
That led to the original podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. So the spiritual awakening, is that all that it led to, or was it a life changing?
That shit was life changing.
Give me a couple examples of ways that your spiritual awakening changed you, how they changed your life, or
um, so like I said, one of them is uh, my tolerance level changed because so I had this question that I would ask people. Like when this first happened to me, I asked people, if you and a friend was at a bar and you seen somebody put something in your friend's drink, but you wasn't able to stop them before they did it, neither was you able to stop your friend before they drank it. So your friend drank this drink, and after they drink it, they just start doing crazy shit. I would ask them, would you be mad at your friend? What you think the answer is that I always give?
knowing people these days, I don't know. I mean, I would say no. I wouldn't be mad at my friend, but I feel like
That's
people,
what everybody said.
yeah, but that's definitely not the truth.
So I would ask, why? Why wouldn't you be mad at your friend? I say, because it wasn't their fault. Somebody did something to their drink.
Right.
I said, well, that's the same thing that happened to us. Your mama, your daddy, your grandma, the school you went to, the church that you went to, the people that you was around at the picnic, all that shit, they programmed stuff into you that you didn't realize that they were doing at the time, nor did you even have the power to decide whether you wanted it in you or not. So when I learned it, when I actually seen it, not only with other people, but with myself, it it just freed up a space for me.
Do you feel like those things that were programmed into you can be unprogrammed, changed,
Yes,
healed?
but it's not easy. Yes, it's a very, and that's something I used to talk about on the on the old podcast, is that healing ain't fun.
Mm-mm.
You know, people get on the internet and talk about this shit, or it's become trendy, or whatever you want to call it. But that shit don't feel good. When you going through it, when you gotta look at yourself, when you gotta come to terms with just fucked up ways that you got about you, that shit don't feel good. Cause your ego gonna try to get you to deny it. That's first. It don't wanna say, yeah, I was wrong. Yeah, I fucked up. Yeah, I be procrastinating. I be slacking. I don't do what I supposed to do. It don't wanna do that. It don't wanna take accountability for none of that shit. So that's one of the things, another one of the things that I learned how to do when that happened to me was take accountability. Because I realized what it was that was trying to stop me from taking accountability. So that it was life changing, man. I was able to hold space for people. And I don't know if people know what I mean when I say this, so I'm gonna try to explain it. When I say hold space for people, meaning I don't even know if you know this, but
I mean, I would assume when you say hold space for people, it's much like me saying giving someone grace.
it's that. But let me put it like this. So when I'm talking to somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even when I'm talking to you, a lot of times I will have like this neutral, like, you don't know how I'm taking what you giving me type of face.
Yep.
A lot of times I will react as if you're not even saying anything to me. It'll just be blank. My response would be blank. My body would be blank.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I'm holding space for you to show up however you feel like you need to show up at that time. And I'm not going to do anything with my voice, with my face, with my body to indicate that I'm judging you in any type of way. So a lot of times people say, I just feel so comfortable when I'm talking to you. Or you just make me feel like this when I'm talking to you. They don't know why they responding like that, but I know what it is.
Right.
When you talking to me, I'm not giving you no type of subconscious signal that, oh, that just triggered me, what they said. Or that just bothered me, what they just did. I don't do that. My body is blank. I respond, I give responses to the shit that I want to give responses to. When it's things that I know you waiting to see how I'm going to take it, I'm not going to respond. So you're not going to know how I'm taking it. And you're not even going to think I'm taking offense to it because of the way that I'm going to show up in my body and in my face. And that's because I'm holding space for you. So just because you doing something that I don't agree with, I don't have to show you that. Because the goal is for you to be able to freely express yourself. That's my goal. When I'm having conversation with people, I want you to freely express yourself. I don't give a fuck if I don't like it. My feelings is my feelings. I gotta deal with it. It's not your responsibility. So when I talk to you, that's what I'm gonna do.
Now, does that lead to you setting certain boundaries with certain people?
Absolutely. Because even though I hold space, I'm not blind. I'm not stupid. So something that holding space also allows me to do is take in a whole lot of information. A whole lot of information. Shit that I don't even have to think about at that time, but it just come back and visit me later.
So your ability to read people is very interesting. It's very uncommon. Where did that originate? When did that?
To read people?
You study people. I don't know if a lot of people realize that about you or not, but you study people. So where did that? It's very intentional. So was there an origin point for that? Like a day or a time that you can specify? Yeah. So tell me about that.
I'm not gonna be like for saying this. Because I gotta expose somebody to do it. But it's true. When I was dating my son's mom, it was this moment she came to me and she just spit out like this paragraph that my sister supposedly said. And you know how you can know somebody so good, you know how they talk, right. You know what their verbiage is. It was like that. Now, my son mama ain't know her well enough to use her words like that.
Right.
So when she said what she said to me, I said, my motherfucking sister said that. Sitting right up under my nose and said that. So some in my brain clicked and said, we gotta start paying more attention. That still didn't translate into where I'm at with it today. What took it to where is it today is when I was in school, girls used to always do shit where they acted like they liked me 1 minute, and then something would happen, like some would change. Some would change, and I couldn't figure out what the fuck it was. And I'd be going back and forth with myself, like, no, they was just acting like they liked me. Now they act like they don't like me. And it used to happen so much to the point where, like, I remember one day, I can tell you where I was working at. I was working at this place called the Silicon Center. And one day it was a retired veteran's home. And I got on the computer, on YouTube, and I typed in how to attract women. And that shit opened up it opened up some shit that ain't been closed. So my ability to read people came from me learning about attraction, body language, voice tone, things that you communicate without saying it. And I tell people all the time, like, I done studied this shit for years. For years. So it's to the point now where it's like, I don't need nobody validation. I don't need you to confirm what I'm feeling is what the fuck it is. I don't need it. I've been doing it too long. And I know shit that people don't think I fucking know. Cause I just sit back, I play it cool, I don't throw this shit in nobody's face. But it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to get shit past me. To the point where I can walk in the room and I don't even have to talk to a girl. If she just look up and she just look at me a certain type of way, I know if she like me or not. Without her opening her mouth or doing anything, she could just look up at me and smile. But the way that she do it gonna tell me whether she like me or not. It could be a comment that she make in a conversation that ain't got nothing to do with her. And this shit ain't just with women, it's on the opposite side too. I can tell what type of person I'm dealing with just based off of little shit that they do.
So at what point do you decide, based off of, just say initially meeting somebody, male, female, friend, coworker, whatever, at what point do you decide based off of the body language and social cues how and when you're going to engage with somebody?
It depends on the setting.
Okay.
So if we are in public, just public, I don't know you, you don't know me. I'm more bold and direct in situations like that. There's really no consequence that you can give me other than saying, I don't want to talk to you. Or just walking the fuck out for some shit like that. I'm not going to do nothing else that requires you to do more than that.
Right.
Now, there are other situations like work environments, certain people we around. In situations like that, just depending on everything that's going on, sometimes you would have to do something that make it completely clear. Not just to me, but if anybody was to be a witness, they'd be like, oh yeah, that's what it was. That's just to keep me safe.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because, especially at work, you can put your job in jeopardy. People can make claims on you and shit that really ain't true. So, yeah.
So do you feel like because you have, or you started your research with females and how to attract females, at this point, years in, do you find it easier to read females than you do reading men's body language?
No, it's the same.
It's the same for them.
Yeah.
Has it always been that way?
Yeah, because when it started, like when I started learning about attraction, I was learning about both. I was learning about what men do and what women do. How men respond to women, how women respond to men. And it's like everything that I done came across in attraction that I've read has been that type of dynamic. It's never just been just women. Right. It's always been the inclusion of man and woman. If it wasn't like that, then it was just psychology about people, just about us as humans. It'll be like that. So either way, I still learned about both sides.
So say you're out, say you're at a let's talk about work. Say you're at work. Mm-hmm. You work with a guy. Can you pick up on, before y'all ever even have conversation, can you pick up on whether or not this is somebody that you could be cool with, be friends with, before there's ever even a conversation? Like, you can tell this is not somebody I want to deal with, or yeah, me and old buddy could go have a drink and talk about bitches.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that is a gift, or do you feel like it's a burden, or is it both?
I feel like it's a fucking superpower. Honestly.
Does it ever get exhausting?
To
be able to read people that way?
Not for me. Not for me. I like it.
Gives you an advantage.
Yeah, and I'm not one of those people that's like egotistical when it comes to this type of shit. So what I mean is I use my shit in a healthy way to keep me out of situations that I don't want to be in, to keep people away from me that I don't want attached to me. I don't use it to take advantage of nobody. So it's like when I walk in the room, it's kind of like a sense of protection that I have. It's like I don't have. I'm not. I hear people talk about it all the time. I'm not one of them people that got to sit up under you for this many weeks, have this many conversations, be around you for this many years to know who the fuck I'm dealing with. I can walk in the room and look at you off the way that you dress, how you got your hair, what colors you chose, how you drive your car. I could have just seen you coming through the motherfucking parking lot. The way you turned in the parking space and told me something about you. And like people just don't know that shit go that deep. They don't know. But I like it. It keeps me out of a bunch of shit.
Okay, so now that we've touched on it, we know females are definitely gonna want to know the scoop.
What scoop?
On you. What's up?
What do you mean? Yeah, you gonna have to spit this one out.
I mean, they're gonna be curious what you got going on. What's your relationship status and how does all that work? I know, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to want to know. Females in the chat asking questions.
Oh man. So
let's go on and touch on it.
At this current time, I'm single, and I'm gonna say unfortunately.
Why, unfortunately?
Because I really, and when I say really, like this shit ain't lightly coming for me, because I'm not no clueless motherfucker. I really thought I had something with the last person I was with, and I just feel like I had to make a decision that I really didn't want to make. So it still bothers me to this day.
So do you say unfortunately because you want to be in a relationship with... You want to be in a relationship? You enjoy being in a relationship?
Yeah.
So you enjoy being in a relationship, but was your relationship status or your relationship goals part of your awakening? Or did that come after the fact? And then I want you to elaborate on what your goal is for the people that don't know.
So I don't know if I ever said this publicly. Yes, to answer your question, my relationship status or change had a lot to do with my spiritual awakening. The way I do my relationship now, I never could have did it like that before then. I still remember this point of like me being scared to like really love somebody, like just out of fear of them breaking my heart and what I would do to them if they did. Like that's the mindset I had before the spiritual way. Jealous. I remember the person that I was with before, the person that I was with after my son's mom. I still remember this day, like we was at a club and like this dude came up to her, and it's around the time I'm learning about body language, knowing what different shit mean when people do it. We was in the club. This dude came up to her. He was talking. He put his hand on her shoulder, did it again, standing close to her. So by this time, I done already put the shit together. This nigga like you. Not only do he like you, you are comfortable with this nigga. I had a whole problem with it. Like that shit turned into a whole thing once we left the club that night. I don't do that type of shit today. So the spiritual awakening had a lot to do with that.
So it got your jealousy under control.
Yeah. It taught me that what I felt was my responsibility.
Okay.
It showed me that what a person does tells you about them. What you feel tells you about you. So, like I said about the accountability thing, I had to start realizing like I gotta take accountability for this shit. So it changed the way that I do relationships because it allowed me to free myself from certain emotions like jealousy or feeling like I had to control a person, some shit like that. It gave me the courage and the ability to just let people be themselves without my emotions interfering with the shit. So it changed the whole way that I do my relationship. I used to like committed relationships or what they consider as monogamous. I'm no longer like that.
So did your mentality change because of what you experienced with other people, or did your mentality change because of what you were feeling? Is that something you've always battled with, is wanting to date multiple people and you felt like you were forced to be monogamous for societal reasons, or that's just how you were raised, or did you genuinely believe in monogamy at some point and then you had a change based off of experience?
So to answer that, I gotta answer it like this. That was not a conscious thought in my head, like the way you just described it. It wasn't in my head like that. It was I was cool with the monogamy shit, but I started to notice like when I wasn't around my girl, I would still want to talk to other girls. So again, it's still not a conscious thought like, oh, you wanna try this other thing. Like it still wasn't like that. When the spiritual awakening shit happened, I tell people this shit all the time. They don't believe me. I don't fucking know why they think I just be saying this shit. But me doing relationships the way that I do relationships now was about me just simply being able to be myself. It ain't had shit to do with women. It was just on any level, meaning some simple as I want to go out to eat today, but I don't want to take you with me. Because in relationships, it's like, especially traditional ones, that shit becomes an issue. Why you want to go without me? So it's something simple as that. I want to go sit in the front room, but I want to go sit up there by myself. I want to go back in and play my game for about 5 hours and not be bothered. This is me expressing myself, being myself. Women was just a byproduct of the shit. just a side effect. And it's just kind of one of the things that I realized that I wasn't standing in my truth about. So it kind of made its way in there too. And when people start to kind of like question me about it, my response is always, what do you enjoy? Because they always ask me, why you want to talk to multiple women, but you ain't satisfied, you don't get enough from one woman. What do you enjoy? Oh, I like to write, I like to journal, I like to watch TV shows. Well, you know how you like to do that? I like talking to new girls. That same feeling that you get from doing that, that's how I feel. I get joy out of it. It makes me happy. Like playing basketball, like listening to music, like dancing, like rapping. It makes me feel good. That's why I do it.
Is it that you get a different feeling, just like different hobbies? Not to compare women to hobbies, but you know, like people have different hobbies that make them feel different ways or bring out different dopamine hits.
Yes.
Does that play also into your love for studying body language and tone of voice? Shit. And so with different women, you get different effects.
Yes, because everybody is unique. Like we have, this is what people don't understand about humans. We're all the same. We just express it different. And it's simple. We all experience the same fucking emotions. But what you do and what you say when you get mad, that's what y'all have in common. Both of y'all get mad. Both of y'all feel happy. Both of y'all feel sad. You cry. All this type of shit. This is what we have in common. But how you express it, what you do when you cry, what they do when they cry, it's two different motherfucking things.
Right.
So it's like in those ways we are different. And I like that.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap up the polyamorous part of the conversation with this. Once you're ready, what would be your ultimate goal when it comes to relationships?
What would be my ultimate goal?
Where do you feel like in this moment right now? And of course, you know, it can evolve and change. But as of right now, just say 5-10 years down the road, what would be your goal or your happy place when it came to relationship status? Give the ladies something to work towards.
I would say if everybody was comfortable with it, whoever I'm dating, all us to be under one roof together and kind of work as a unit instead of it being looked at like this just a bitch she talked to. I don't even like that.
So, you mentioned earlier your son's mom. So, of course, everybody heard you say you have a son. You also have a daughter. Do you want more kids? Okay. Of your own, would you date a female that already has children?
Absolutely.
And would they be included in that big happy household? Or would they have to be older? All right, so without giving too much away, talk about your experience as a dad and how that shaped you and changed you.
So first thing I'm gonna say, I love being a dad. I feel like I was made one before I was what I feel like is prepared. So it led me into some situations that I just wouldn't have preferred to be in. I take them and learn from them, but I love being a dad. I've always like loved the idea of having your own offspring. So it's like so many times. My son is 11 now, and I still do that shit. When I look at him, I just be amazed, like, like this is my child, and I just love it. You know, the process of watching them grow. Um, I got to, I'm getting to see that more with my daughter because of the living situation than I did with my son. I didn't really get to see my son at the stage that my daughter is. I didn't get to see him like really just grow and develop in that stage. Um, but I love it, man. I love it. And more than anything, I want to provide a life for my kids that I didn't experience. And I feel like a lot of times, unfortunately, it get misconstrued for something else. It gets misconstrued. Now that part I don't like.
Okay, so do you care to elaborate on what you mean by sometimes it gets misconstrued?
Um, Sometimes the mothers of my kids confuse my actions with something else. They confuse it with um not doing as much as they feel like I should do, or not being as present as they feel like I should be. And I just see it from a different side. And I take the hit because I understand. But the side that I see it from is you're not going to be able to do everything. And what I mean by that is like, I'm not going to be able to be around the way that you want me to be around and do this shit that I'm trying to do to create the life that I'm trying to create. I'm not going to be able to spend what you feel like I should spend when I'm trying to create this life that I'm trying to create for my kids. So it's like that shit is more important to me than anything, not just for them, but also for myself. And I done said this before, and I'll say this shit again. I'll tell anybody this. My kids will not stop me from having a life. They won't. A lot of people got ways that they feel about that. A lot of people take that as you saying you're gonna neglect the responsibility of having kids. And my response to that is no. You gotta find a balance. You gotta figure out the balance. You gotta teach your kids boundaries. You gotta teach your kids structure. You gotta teach your kids like it's okay for me to leave you sometime. You don't have to cling on to me like that. It's okay for me to leave. It's okay for mommy to leave. Mommy got a life, daddy got a life, but we gonna come back to make sure that you good. It's like if if you know how to teach that to your kids, you can. And you'll set them up to not be so like just Needy.
Codependent.
Very much so. Because that's how a lot of people operate as adults. It's like they happy, they okay as long as you there, as long as you're around, as long as you're doing. But soon as you don't, all hell break loose. What type of structure is that? No.
Well, and as a parent, you have to try to be your happiest, healthiest self to show up for your kids. And you can't do that when you're burnt out.
That is something else that I learned when I was learning about attraction. Was that kids need to see parents being the best version of themselves that they could be. Because a lot of people have this notion, oh, we just gonna stay together for the kids. But the energy that you carrying around in the household, you don't realize this is what they're absorbing. This is the shit that they picking up. You think you teaching them how to stick it out. You teaching them how to fucking suffer. How to not have the balls to walk away from a situation that is no longer serving them. That ain't the shit I'm teaching my kids. So, yeah, I always say my kids will not stop me from having a life. They won't. But I'm going to do everything that I can to create a life for them.
I want to keep the next question brief.
Okay.
But does the way you parent have anything to do with the way that you were parented?
Yes. Yes. I use my son, for example, because he's the main recipient of this right now. So, when I was growing up, I didn't feel like I could talk to my mom. Me and my daddy was cool. Even though we didn't talk about a lot of shit. We was cool. We just had a vibe with each other. But that was the predominant parent, my mom. I didn't feel like I could talk to her. I always felt like me talking to her turned around and slapped me in my face. So one of the things that I do with my son now is I tell him, like, it don't matter what it is. Come talk to me. I don't care what it is. I don't care what you did, how bad you think it is. I said, the only thing that I need you to understand is that it's going to be consequences for your actions. That's the one thing that you need to wrap your mind around. When you do something, everybody ain't gonna talk to you like your daddy talk to you. Everybody ain't gonna give you the grace that your daddy give you. Your daddy give you this because your daddy have a certain level of understanding. This is what I tell my son. I said, but you gotta understand that there's consequences to your actions. I said, sometimes when you do stuff and I'm involved, I'm going to give you consequences. I said, but I'm not just gonna tell you something. I'm not just gonna do something to you and I don't explain to you why I'm doing it. I'm gonna get you to tell me, son, why you think I'm doing this? And I want you to tell me why. If you right, I'm gonna tell you right. If you wrong, I'm gonna tell you what the difference is. And that's it. So to this day, how can I say this? I get things out of my son that a lot of people don't get. I know that. And I respectfully discipline him when it's necessary. And I ask him, son, do you know why I did this? Do you know why you're not able to have your game? Do you understand why your mama took your phone away from you?
All right, so we have touched on quite a few topics so far. So it gives the people something to look forward to. Future episodes. I got a good, pretty decent glimpse a little deeper than surface level of you, and all that is you. So to wrap it up, what can people look forward to from this podcast in the future? What we taking requests? Hey, talk about this.
We take a quiz. Yeah.
Interviewing different people, more interviews with you, deeper on topics. What we're looking forward to.
Expect the unexpected. Expect the unexpected, because I'm not putting no boundaries on it. So people been asking me to let them come on, and so whatever come up, and we'll deal with it from there.
And is there anything else you want people to know? Signing off.
Just know at the end of the day, regardless of what you think about me, I mean well, and I'm human. So that means I ain't perfect. I'm a fuck up. And I just ask that you give me room to do that.